What's up, guys? I'm Rob.
And I'm Blake.
And welcome to Useless Hobby Limited presents Thatcher! Thatchy's Spa Day series.
Part 2.
We gave Thatchy a spa day. He was really stanky and needed a bath. His nails were also kind of long. We figured, well, you know, he's due for some maintenance. And so we decided to turn it into a video just to share with you guys. And by the time we were done, it was 45 minutes long with all the edits and everything. So we decided to break it up into a couple different series of videos for you guys all to see.
So down in the comments below, if you missed the first part of Thatcher Thursday, as I've been calling it, the first one's going to go over how you trim your dog's nails correctly. So if you want to see that video, go down in the description and we'll have it there for you. In this video, we're going to go over bath time and Thatcher's skincare routine.
Skincare routine is very important for any creature. It's not a hoity-toity thing either. Dogs are like people, and people, they need to take care of their skin, and dogs need to take care of their skin as well.
And also, can you think about somebody who wouldn't take a bath for over a week? Okay, so now that we've trimmed Thatcher's nails, I'm going to give him a bath. If you have a puppy though, I would suggest running the bath first without the puppy in the room, because the loud sound of the water tends to scare them. Thatchy's, a couple years old now, so that doesn't really scare him anymore. So he doesn't get antsy when I do that. Alright, so you want the water to be warm, but obviously not too hot for them. Once you get them wet, they can't regulate their body temperatures easily. Sometimes when you put your dogs in the water, they're going to drink the water that you put them in. So I actually do not pour the soap into the bath first. I put him in it first in case he does that, because it's not really good for them. Even if you're using organic shampoos and stuff like that, it's really not good for them to be drinking soapy water. Okay, so like I said, because Thatchy has done a lot of baths and he's a little bit older, I am actually going to put him in now. Because he's smaller, it's a little bit easier to wash him in the sink. Stay. Stay. Good boy. But the reason why I prefer the sink is actually because he's a long hair weenie dog. He actually has a different kind of coat. So the top layer of his coat will get wet and the bottom layer will stay dry. So I really have to kind of put a lot of water on him. So it's easier to do this in the sink because we have, a little nozzle and stuff like that to get him wet. Actually, with weenie dogs, there's something to keep in mind. I had a scare with my first weenie dog. He loved the water, and he used to actually get in the shower. Anytime I got in the shower or my sisters got in the shower, he would jump in with them. And one time he jumped in and his eyes swelled shut, and we took him to the emergency vet. We were freaking out, and come to find out that water actually getting into weenie dogs' eyes is really bad for them. It can cause blindness in certain circumstances because there's things in the water, that are not supposed to be in your eyes. So that being said, I really like to be careful with him. I don't put water or soap or anything on his face. I actually use a soft towel, like a washcloth, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of roll it like this, and I'll get it wet. And I more wipe his face. I more wipe it than actually like wash his face, because really, he keeps his face actually pretty clean, and I don't want to risk ever getting anything in his eyes. So I just kind of do this. I don't put, any soap on his eyes or on his face or on his nose. I kind of just let his head, be its own thing and wipe it. And then I just wash his ears because his ears get dirty. And I like to keep his hair on his ears long because I think it's cute. But that being said, sometimes the bottoms of them, when he's eating or something, he'll dip his ears into whatever he's eating, And so, yeah, sometimes he has to have them trimmed or I have to wash his ears. All right, so another thing to know about weenie dogs, and this is probably for a lot of other dogs, they have very sensitive skin. Thatcher particularly is just like me in that way. We have a lot of skin issues. We have really dry skin. Our skin will flake. So for him, it's really important to use very gentle products on him. I like to use organic things, nothing with parabens. You know, something else to know about any dog is that dog shampoo is specifically formulated for dogs. There are a lot of other soaps out there that have toxins and things in them, or even just products in general that have ingredients that are really, really bad for dogs or can be harmful to dogs. So I really don't recommend just using your personal shampoo or, you know, dish soap or anything like that if you can help it, because you really just don't know how it's going to irritate their skin, how they're going to react to it. And, you know, you just don't want to risk it. So what I do is I kind of just lather him. I put it all over my hands first and lather it all over him. I like to get his neck really good. It's flea season, and even though he's on protection and stuff, I just like to make sure that all the little nooks and crannies that little bugs could hide in are nice and soapy. I like to clean his feet really good, because obviously his feet go wherever he goes. I see that other one, bud? Let me see. Thank you. All right. I always like to get his tail really good, too. He particularly on his tail gets itchy. I don't know why. And he'll sit there and bite his tail. So his tail is not straight. He actually, like if you run your finger, his tail goes crookedy right here. Can you see that on camera?
Yes.
So his tail goes crookedy. So when weenie dogs are developing, and oh, sorry, I know he's very sensitive about his kinky tail. I don't know if you heard him groan, but he doesn't like when I point it out. I'm sorry, but they kind of need to know this, don't you think? So weenie dogs, when they're little, for some reason, if the mama dog has too much of a certain vitamin, it makes it hard for the weenie dogs to develop because they'll develop faster in the womb. And so they'll get these little kinks in their tail, and they're considered by like breeders and stuff to be a flaw. But I think his kinky tail is cute. We like your kinky tail. But that being said, also we kind of have to be careful with his tail because he does have that kink. Even though it doesn't actually harm him in any way, sometimes he'll get sensitive to it. But I don't think that's related to why he bites his tail. I think his tail just gets dry because it'll start flaking sometimes. And his skin in general will get dry, especially during the summertime. So I don't know why the summertime, but anyways, so maybe because he's out more and I have to wash him more, I'm not sure. But anyhow, so sometimes we'll cover him in olive oil actually, which is kind of funny because we joke around that he's a worm and that really makes him slimy. And when we have to cover him in olive oil, I have to wash him like 3 times because it's just, he'll get so oily. But it really, really does help his skin, and then he'll stop biting. And since he's also allergic to fleas, you know, I have to keep him, first off, I try not to put like medications on him too much because I don't really like that and I feel like it's unhealthy. So I just try to keep him away from flea areas, and I try to wash him every time I take him to a park or anything like that, which is just a good practice to do anyway, because even though he's protected by his vaccines and things, you know, you can transmit parvo and things like that or other diseases when you go through the parks and different areas where there's a lot of dogs and a lot of traffic.
Oh yeah, side note. So, part of the reason why it's so important to wash your dog often and regularly, especially when you're taking them outside, taking them to the park, things like that, is because you can actually transmit diseases by coming into contact with infected things. Either infected animals, feces, things like that. Specifically, parvo is
Parvo is terrible. It's literally as bad as like a zombie apocalypse virus. You get it on your clothes. You just get it like you touch a dog that has parvo, and then get it to your dog. That dog becomes a zombie, and then they start biting other dogs, and then the other dogs start biting other dogs, and then eventually there are no dogs left, and they're just all flesh-eating canines.
Where did you read this?
I didn't. I
made
it up.
Parvo is really bad and actually is life-threatening. Your dog will not turn into a dog bee.
Dog bees!
I think we might have just touched on a childhood fear. Anyways. So, parvo is bad. It is life-threatening, especially to puppies. Even if you have an older dog that has all his shots, is not susceptible to getting diseases as easily, that dog can come into contact with something that's infected and bring it back into the house where your puppy is. So anytime you take your dog out to the park and things like that, not only do they get sweaty and dirty, and it's a good idea to wash them anyway, it does actually help prevent those types of cross-contaminations.
It's very smart.
That's why he's dating me.
And
because I do this. Right.
So this is a true story. My dad, we were eating dinner, and this was one of the times she couldn't make it, and she had some stuff that she had to do, and he was just like, he's like, oh yeah, you did what I did. You like punched severely above your weight. And he's talking about my mom, and I don't know how. I don't know how. I'm still a little confused, and I'm frankly scared, but I do love her.
Oh, I love you too, babe.
I just like to kind of keep him clean and, keep him bug free and stuff, because he'll get these like really bad rashes if something bites him. So, but that being said, on the point of using olive oil again, you want to use organic stuff that doesn't have like a bunch of extra chemicals and things in it, because they can be really sensitive, especially Thatcher. Thatcher is very, very, very sensitive to anything we put on him, like anything at all. Down to like, I really have to, with our laundry detergent even, because he sleeps in our bed, I have to make sure that he doesn't have allergic reactions to that. Wow, you were dirty, bud. Your water's like, ew. All right, let's let some of that out so I can rinse you with clean water. Oh, also, some people have, when they've been here and I've given him a bath, they have commented on how he doesn't shake. That's something you have to teach them when they're little. So what I used to do when he would try to shake is I would grab him like this and hold him and say, no shake. And he's usually pretty good about it. Sometimes he'll still like sneak up on me and get me. But for the most part, he knows, not to shake until after I'm done washing him, because I really don't like getting soaking wet. Sometimes I'm in a hurry, or we have somewhere to go, or, we need to shoot a video, and I just spent 2 hours doing my makeup or whatever. And so I tried to teach him that when he was little, because it makes my life easier. All right, excuse me, buddy. Let's get your neck. There we go. Good boy. There we go. Oops, sorry. All right, so I am actually, yes, wringing out his ears. That's a thing. Because any floppy-eared dog gets ear infections very easily. They specifically get yeast in their ears from the moisture. So I always, after I give him a bath and dry him off, will clean his ears. And I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. So I always start with his snout when I'm drying off his face. It also keeps him from shaking so much, because oftentimes when they shake, it's because they feel like there's water in their face or, whatever. Sorry, you got a fuzz on your nose. And then his ears, for the same reason I just said. You want to try to keep their ears dry. Okay. And one thing about drying off your pet after you give them a bath is to kind of make it feel like you're giving them pets. They're more likely to sit still, less likely to shake. And also, I kind of think it feels good for them. Oh, that's a good spot right there, huh? Right there? Yeah? See, look at that. Good boy. All right, get down. Good boy. So that's something else. If you let them, when they're little, put their feet up on the edge of the tub or the sink wherever you're washing them, they learn that that behavior is okay. I would not suggest allowing them to do that because it does end up getting water everywhere depending on where you live, and it teaches them that they can kind of do whatever they want in the bathtub versus like you being in control of the situation. Let me get your butt. Good boy. And then I always have to get his feet really good because he has really fluffy feet and his feet retain a lot of water. Like, look at that. Normally, also, I use this big towel because he's a long-haired dog, so he does retain a lot of water. And normally, when I'm done drying him off, the towel's soaking wet. Let me see this other foot. Yes, I know. Thank you. Good boy. Okay. All right. Nope, no shake. See how I stopped him there? No shake, not yet.
He's got a long butt.
He's back. Okay, anyways. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Oh, it's still there. If you would like to see Sully in some videos, maybe how to groom your Persian Himalayan cat, because that's what he is, leave a comment below and maybe we'll send out one of those videos because he has his own routine and his own skincare and whatnot stuff going on too. I mean, you don't get this fluffy for no reason, right? Alright, so make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you're not missing out on any of our awesome videos. We have a third video coming next week, part of the Thatcher series. It'll be the final one, and that's going to go into some really interesting details about how to clean your dog's ears and brush their teeth.
So you also kind of have to deal with some matting of hair and stuff like that. So we kind of go into into details about brushing hair as well.
How to be beautiful.
Tell us what your dog bee defense plan is in the comments below. Mine is I go into, so we have this like fortified
big school. If he walks away, I go in there. I understand. And then I've got like a
bunch of cans of beans and
shooters and the bees and then full sheep around.
Babe, I think you're going too far off on the zombie dog bee tangent.